ages. We've gathered some of these questions and put them right here on my Killer Whales Up Close book so I can share them with you today. And if you're ready to get started, it's my privilege to introduce to you one of our trainers. Across the pool from me on our main stage, please welcome my friend Sean.
Hello everyone! Thank you so much for that introduction, Caitlin. As she said, my name is Sean, and I'm one of the killer whale trainers here at SeaWorld San Antonio. In our park, we have 6 whales total, 4 females and 2 males. And their ages range from our youngest killer whale, who's only 20 months old, to our oldest whale, who is 24 years old. Now, what do you guys say? Are you ready to meet some of the whales? Awesome! First up, we have one of those male killer whales. He is 16 years old and 7,000 pounds. He really enjoys to play games with his trainers. Instead of the pool, this is Tua! And now we're going to meet our largest whale. He is over 9,000 pounds and 23 years old. He really enjoys to learn new behaviors and interact with his trainers as well. Give it up for Cayucas! Up next we have our oldest killer whale. She is 24 years old and the matriarch of our pod. She's oftentimes seen swimming with her youngest calf, Kamea. This is Sakara. Don't you guys think that they are just amazing?
They sure are, Sean. Now, you guys can see how different each whale is. But did you know there are even bigger differences in the wild? Would you be surprised if I told you there are actually different kinds of killer whales? Scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in their own habitats, they have different body types, and they even pursue different kinds of food. Now, even though the ecotypes are different, they're still considered members of one species, or Sinus orca. Now, one of the questions we get all the time is how big does a killer whale grow to be? And the answer would depend on which ecotype you're talking about. Is it a 16-foot female in Iceland, or a 30-foot male in Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The wonderful thing about killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean. From the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Get ready to see those whales up close and personal because here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Cayuga and Tua.
Aren't they just incredible? Let's have one more round of applause for Tua and Kai. Alright, you guys, let's see what questions I have in here. Here we go. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hand way up high if you've ever wanted to be an animal trainer. There's quite a few of you. And you guys should meet our dedicated trainers who interact with our family of whales every day. We've already met Sean. But Sean, who's joining you on stage today?
Well, Caitlin, up here I have Jenny and Mary. And these are just a couple more of our dedicated trainers.
Our killer whale trainers are so passionate about what they do here every day. And that makes me think of another question. Do the trainers talk to the whales? I'll let you answer that one, Sean.
That is a great question. We may not talk to the whales like you and I talk to each other, but we have taught them different signals, which helps us to communicate with them. If we bend up the waist like so, it's a signal for the whales to nod their head in an up and down motion. Another signal they know is if we put one arm up into the air, the whales will mimic our behavior and put one pectoral flipper in the air. We can even wave at them and they'll wave back. So let's give them a great big wave hello. Our ongoing communication with the whales plays a big part in developing our strong relationships with them. Because of this, one of the things we're able to do is answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild? Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
And that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our park to the wild and back again. That way, everyone benefits. Let's look at another question. Here we go. This individual wonders why whales jump, and I just happen to have that emoji. Look! A jump like Tuar just did is called a breach, and he's making a sound on top of the water. When an animal uses their body to slap the water, it creates a commotion both above and below the surface. Like Tuar just did. Now, killer whales will communicate by vocalizing and by using their bodies. An example of using their body is with a behavior called a peck slap, which Kai will show us. All of these behaviors can be to show their excitement, maybe to display a little power, or to get the attention of other whales. Now, some of you guys may have heard about Kalia at SeaWorld San Diego and her new calf, Amaya. Our SeaWorld social media fans actually got to help name Amaya. Here at SeaWorld, we have watched newborn calves rely on their mothers for everything, from the very first moment of birth.
As a calf grows and gains some independence, it is looked after by other whales in the pond. They help the mother protect the calf, teach it survival skills, and show the calf how to romp and play. Killer whales live in family-like groups known as pods. Like human families, their pods can range in size from just a handful of whales up to a few dozen.
And now that you have all gotten a chance to get to know Kalia and her calf Amaya, we are so excited to introduce you to the newest member of our SeaWorld San Antonio killer whale family. Born on December 6, 2013 to her mother Takara, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kamea appearing alongside her mother. It has been so inspiring to watch her learn and grow over the past 20 months.
Watching Kamea and her mom made me think of a really important question in my book. Does having a killer whale breeding program at SeaWorld help whales in the wild? Absolutely. Our successful breeding program helps us to understand the developmental needs of pregnant mothers, newborn calves, and young killer whales. This is critical information because this is the time when killer whales are the most vulnerable in the wild. But gaining this kind of knowledge is only possible through the research we're able to do right here at SeaWorld.
Recently, SeaWorld worked with researchers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, to help them develop a model for identifying when a killer whale is pregnant by looking at aerial images of the animal in the wild. Prior to this cooperative effort, where SeaWorld provided direct, unparalleled access to our pregnant whales, researchers had no solid way of knowing whether or not a female in the wild was carrying a calf.
Wow, that's a lot of questions. Believe it or not, we get them every day.
We sure do. Killer whales communicate with each other using all sorts of sounds. Let's listen to a few of them. Each kind of killer whale, each pod has their own unique set of calls, or their own dialect. But let's not forget that they use body language as well.
That's right, Sean. Sometimes they'll bump into each other, blow bubbles, or even scratch each other with their teeth, causing rape marks. These are the multi-line marks you may see on the skin of some killer whales and dolphins. And this is one of the ways that they display dominance over one another during social interactions, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. Just learned that killer whales communicate both by vocalizing and by using their bodies. But how do we communicate with them? With signals. Here at SeaWorld, we communicate with our whales, and we want the next generation to be able to do the same.
Now we're at my favorite part of the show, where we're going to have a couple of pre-selected volunteers come down and meet our whales and show you guys a little bit more about how we use these signals to communicate with them. Over here on this side of the pool, Takara and Camille and Amy, we have Nathan, and he's going to interact with these whales, showing you guys a little bit about how he interacts with them. And across from him, with Mary and Kayuka, we have Rosita, giving everyone a great big wave hello. Now we're going to start by having Rosita and Nathan get to know our whales by giving them a great big wave hello as well. So when they're ready, they're going to put their arms up into the air and wave at the whales. Next up, we're going to ask Rosita and Nathan to spin in a circle. And we're going to watch the whales and see what they do when they see our volunteers spinning in a circle and see this signal. So when they're ready, they're going to go ahead and start spinning. So when Rosita and Nathan started spinning in a circle, the whales saw that as a signal to mimic their behavior and spin in a circle as well. Before the show, I met with Nathan and Rosita and taught them a signal that we use to interact with our whales. Now on the count of three, we're going to show the whales this signal and see what they do. Alright guys, are you ready? Let's get started. 1, 2, 3. Looks like our whales saw that as a signal to get them wet. Thank you guys so much for your help. For helping us out today, we want to give you this whale tail necklace to remember Takara and Kayuki by. Let's give it a great big round of applause.
I don't know about you guys, but I see some future animal trainers in the audience today. Let's take a look at another question. Who takes care of you, Shimu? I love that question because it lets us give you a peek at how much we care for these extraordinary animals. Sean, are the trainers ready?
Of course we are. Many of the behaviors that our whales know actually allow us to help take care of them. One of these behaviors is called a fluke present behavior, and Tuar is demonstrating this behavior with Jenny on this side of the pool. It's where the whales actually offer us their tail flukes. We can use this behavior to draw blood samples from those tail flukes because the veins are so close to the surface to check their health. Across from him at the other side of the pool is Kayuki. He's performing a slide-up behavior. This behavior allows us to weigh the whales. That way we can track their weights to make sure that they're growing properly and doing well. High energy behaviors such as fast swims and breaches are behaviors killer whales will perform out in the wild and here at SeaWorld. Takara is going to show us a bob behavior on the far side of the pool. Next up, she's going to dive straight down to the bottom and come up in the center, performing a back dive. Tuar is going to dive down 40 feet to the bottom of this pool, come up in the center and get completely up and out of the water using those tail flips for propulsion. Let's check him out. These behaviors help us ensure that all the whales are gaining the necessary exercise that they need each and every day. Let's check out Kayuki next.
Those were pretty impressive, Sean. But I know our guests also wonder, how much does a killer whale need to eat to stay healthy?
Well, Caitlin, just like you and I, each whale has different dietary needs based off of their age, weight, and their gender. Over here we have Takara, a 24-year-old female. She eats around 120 pounds of fish each and every day. Now, let's remember that Cayuga is 9,000 pounds and that he is 23 years old. What do we think he needs to eat every day? What do you think, Mary? One fish? I don't know if that's enough. You might need a little bit more than just one fish. Let's remember, he's 9,000 pounds. 2 fish? That still doesn't seem like a lot. I think you might need a little bit more than just 2 fish. What do you have for us? Ah, the whole bucket. Let's see if that does it. Cayuga actually eats 150 pounds of fish every single day, which equates to about 6 buckets of fish every day. Now let's keep in mind that no matter what our whales do every day, they receive all of their food each of those days.
Now, because we've been able to determine how much killer whales eat at different stages throughout their life, researchers in the field can use that information to determine if ocean habitats are healthy enough for killer whale populations to thrive. And that kind of information is invaluable.
You know, food, exercise, and physicals from our veterinarians aren't all that our whales need to stay healthy. Each whale's well-being is important to us, and we want to make sure that they're stimulated and mentally challenged as well. And we're going to show you how we complete this task here at SeaWorld with our whales. On the far side of the pool, we have Cayuga and Jenny again. And Jenny's interacting with, and Mary's interacting with Cayuga with a mirror. A mirror allows our whales to see themselves. They actually really enjoy checking themselves out in the mirror and can recognize themselves. Sometimes they'll make funny faces in front of it or just look at themselves and see how they look that day. Kai's thinking he's looking pretty handsome today. And over here in front of me, I have Amy with Takara, and she's playing with Takara with one of our many environmental enrichment devices. This is a plastic disc that we can use and give the whales to play with. Right now, she's asking Takara to retrieve it from the pool. We can ask the whales to do different behaviors while holding these different discs inside their mouths or on top of their body, challenging them to think about how to complete certain tasks. Even with all the toys and games that we play with our whales, the best enrichment still seems to be social interaction with the other whales and our team of experienced trainers.
Don't you guys think that looked like fun? Now here's a really fun question to go along with it. I know all of the kids want to know who would win if a killer whale squared off with a great white shark. Raise your hand if you think the shark would win. Alright, I see a few hands. Now raise your hand if you think the killer whale would win. You're right. You see, a shark hunts alone, but a killer whale hunts with a pod of killer whales. So it's not even a competition. Killer whales have even been known to hunt a blue whale. Do you guys know how big a blue whale is? At over 80 feet, it's the largest animal ever to have existed on the planet. But killer whales can hunt these huge creatures because they coordinate, collaborate, and cooperate. They work together, overcome challenges much bigger than themselves. I think we could learn a lot from them about how to overcome the challenges our oceans face. If we work together like the killer whales, we can change the fate of the ocean and our world. Awesome. We have more questions. And these are some really specific questions that always come in. So here we go. First one. Why do some of the dorsal fins curve? That's a great question. The dorsal fin doesn't have any kind of skeletal support, such as bones or cartilage, to support its height and weight. It's made completely out of connective tissue. And when an animal spends more time at the surface of the water, the connective tissue in that fin may weaken, causing the fin to bend. Occasionally, we see curved dorsal fins both here at SeaWorld and in the wild. Next question. How fast can they swim? Actually, how fast do they swim, Sean?
Well, Caitlin, depending on their body size, they can reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. Let's check out Cayuga as he swims. Let's keep in mind, he's using his tail flips to propel himself through the water, tossing him in an up and down motion. Those pectoral flippers are being used to steer while he swims, and that dorsal fin is giving him stability while he's going around the pool.
That was pretty impressive. Let's look at the next question. Or flukes, as they're called, are strong enough to fling a whole lot of water about halfway up those stands. Last question. If all of the whales splashed all at once, could they get everyone in the audience Maybe not everyone. themselves. Truly, to better understand the killer whale is to better understand the ocean. Never stop wondering about the natural world around you. Be sure to visit us at SeaWorldSanAntonio.com for your free download of killer whales up close so you can share it with your family and friends.
From all of us and all the whales here at SeaWorld, thank you for coming, thank you for comparing, and thank you for joining us. Have a great day right here at SeaWorld.